Man, I just want to put this in a nice display case for this one here, just because. Oh my gosh. I did not mean to do that. Holy crap. This is the Slayer lightsaber from Fine Edition Sabers. I can't tell you how excited I am to check out this saber for a really good reason. And for anybody who knows me, you know why. So this is the Slayer lightsaber from Fine Edition Sabers, which right off the bat, awesome case. I want to say thank you to Fine Edition Sabers for sending me this so we can showcase it. I can show you guys and let you guys know what I think. But again, the reason I am so excited about this one, for anybody who knows me, that Luke Skywalker is by far probably my favorite Jedi in all of Star Wars, and this saber is styled off of his. I do know this is actually more so designed on Anakin's saber, but to me it's Luke's saber, and it's very closely for, you know, like A New Hope. The saber is very closely designed to that, so let's just go ahead and get started. So, going over just a few of the things that come inside. Of course, we got our tools and our extra equipment here. Looks like we got an awesome display case that we can use. We got a USB. I'm not sure if there's any additional like sound effects and stuff on there, but you can use this, I know, to add any kind of sound effects and stuff like that to your saber. The cord, an extra tool, and then our plug-in for our saber. And lastly, we got our manual that we can use to know how to operate our saber. And of course, the moment of truth. Now, of course, I have to unwrap it, but here's the hilt. Alrighty, so I got it unwrapped. I put the box on the ground just real quick, and then that way we can take a closer look at the hilt itself. So here's just a quick look of the hilt of the saber. And man, I can't tell you how excited I am to actually be holding this in my hands. Luke Skywalker is by far one of my favorite characters and favorite Jedi if I were to pick one, and I have been wanting to get a saber so much like this one for a long time. I've really liked his saber in A New Hope, so to actually finally behold, like I love right here, so in the design on the very bottom for the grip, we basically got like this rigid basically grasp right here. I've wanted to hold that so much every time I've seen a saber online or maybe at a, you know, event or something like that. So finally being able to hold Luke Skywalker's saber, I mean, so I'm going to start at the very top. So as many of you may or may not know, so the original design for Luke Skywalker's saber in the first Star Wars movie, it was actually, I don't remember exactly what kind, but it was from an old vintage camera. So in the old vintage camera, they took basically the hilt or the little stand that held up the flash for the light, and it, you know, of course they added stuff to it later, but that was what got the design started. So starting at the very top of the saber, you know, again, I'm not really sure what all they used or didn't use from the camera, the old vintage camera, but you know, at the very top here we got this orange button here. I believe it doesn't actually do anything. I think it's just for display. And I love the very top of the hilt of this. You know, it kind of curves and slowly pans out on one side of it, and then at the very back end of it, you know, we got the part that pokes out here, and then an additional button. And I don't know what that does yet. We'll play around with it here in a sec. And right here is the button. And so, of course, we'll play around with this some more and kind of figure out how it functions. And then, of course, my favorite part, again, is the grip. I mean, I just love holding on to that grip. Like, this one's going on the top of the shelf for sure. Man, I just want to put this in a nice display case for this one here, just because. Oh my gosh. I did not mean to do that. Holy crap. All right, I turned it on. All right, so we got the light going through there. So it looks like the top here. Whoa. So if I hold it down. Okay, so that shuts it off though. But yeah, it looks like right here. So yeah, we got the button here. So again, I like that there's not like extra buttons to function it. It kind of sticks with the you know, the overall look for, you know, Luke's saber. All right, shut off there. So I think, oh, it does. It does. It has the gesture ignition. Let's go ahead and put it on the blade real quick. I almost forgot to do that. All right, yeah, so I almost forgot when I was pulling everything out of the box. I was so excited that I forgot to pull out the blade. But now we got the blade attached. Oh my God, I mean, just look at that. That just looks beautiful. So actually playing around with it a little bit more, so I did know, or at least for what I can tell, I don't think that button right there at the very top, I don't think it does anything, but I mean, I think it's still kind of cool. It adds a little bit more detail to the blade itself. But now we got the blade on it, so now we're gonna go ahead and, as I mentioned, so we got this top. Basically, this is just a single button. There we go. Awesome. I can't tell you how excited I am. Just like I said, being able to have, and I did turn it down a little bit just because I thought it was a little loud. But being able to have, there we go. So we got the clash effects. And then if you do click the button here, that does other sound effects. So hold up to the mic so we can hear here. All right, so if you hold that down on the very top, basically, I think it's for about 2 seconds, then it'll go through. That way you can see other effects. This is if Luke Skywalker, at least for the hilt itself, was a Sith, which for a brief time, Luke Skywalker actually did turn to the dark side. I don't know if you guys know about that. Holding it down, if you hold it down. Steady. Okay, so that'll change the effects of the blade itself. If you hold down for just a second, turn back down, so let's hold down for just 1 second. Unstable. Unstable. Ooh, so that's more of a strobe effect. Let's see what else they got here. Turn the volume up just a little bit, so let's see. That's awesome. And so we got another blue effect here. That just feels so cool, being able to do that. And then I think if you do it just right, or maybe if you go back, it'll shut off. Let's do it again. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. Like I said, being a huge fan of Luke Skywalker, like I said, Luke Skywalker. Actually, I gotta grab that real quick. Okay, I just had to grab it real quick. Okay, yeah. So just to show you, like, I know this isn't much. I got Funko Pops. I got comics that are all about Luke Skywalker. So yeah, being able to finally put this in the collection. All right, let's put all this away real quick. But before you go, of course, just like always, start the montage. So one thing I do want to make a quick note and give props to for Fine Edition sabers on this one is with a lot of sabers, you know, we see, if you've kind of played around with them, that the sound effects, you know, they're all kind of generally the same-ish. That, you know, of course we're gonna have Vader, Luke, Ben Solo, you know, Rey, stuff like that, and the sounds, you know, they're gonna sound exactly like those characters. But at least for this one, I don't know if it's the speaker itself or maybe, you know, the way that it's made, you know, coming out the bottom there, but the sound itself, at least in my opinion, I don't know, it almost sounds like surround sound, like just the quality of it. I don't know what it is, but like it just seems to be coming out, and it feels more deep is the way to say it. I know it's kind of hard to kind of understand what I'm talking about, you know, just through a mic and whatnot, but when I hear it, it just sounds more like I feel more drawn in. I feel more like I'm experiencing, you know, what it would be like to, you know, to say be Luke Skywalker. So with the handle itself, like I said before, I like that thinner style for a Saber Hilt. I don't like those big bulky ones, like, you know, we've seen them before, you know, with Disney and stuff. They have those huge gigantic flashlight looking ones. Not a huge fan of those. I like the more slim, more sleek style. So with Fine Edition sabers, I can see based on a lot of the ones they do have kind of that consistent look of that sleek look. And speaking of which, of course, like to thank Fine Edition sabers for sending me this saber to showcase to you guys. couldn't thank them enough, just because again, I have been wanting to show something like this for such a long time. I'll be sure to leave a link. This is a custom link for me, so if you use that link, you'll be able to get a 10% discount at Fine Edition Sabers, or if you use the code Larry at checkout, you'll get 10% off any of their sabers. And they have a good variety to check out. Like I said, with Fine Edition Sabers, I mean, it is in the name. They're a fine addition to your collection. And they have standard sabers, they have premium sabers, so be sure to go check them out. Alrighty guys, thank you again so much for checking out today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, if you're a fan of Luke Skywalker, awesome blade. But again, if you want to go check out Fine Edition Sabers, you can click the link in my description. That link will give you 10% off any of the sabers that you choose over there. Or if you want to use the code Larry at checkout, you can get 10% off there as well. So again, thanks again to Fine Edition Sabers. I think the saber's cool. I think the case is cool. I really love the case. That'll make it a lot easier to carry around. And once again, everybody, may the Force be with you.